We need some hold music.
Tim, I love that you always come looking so fabulous to meetings. That's like way to show up for work.
Any excuse I get. I don't get enough excuses to wear all the crap that I have.
I mean, I love that your like fabulous stuff is so accessible. Mine's like so tucked away for
just a Tuesday for him.
Pretty much. It's everywhere. It's not accessible. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
He gets
you
milk
are
in the morning.
Fabulous all the time.
He gets milk from the deli in the morning with that.
I do, actually.
All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Costume Cult General Meeting number 2. I know it's been a year. It's been a year since some of you have been here. Others, I see a lot of you all the time. My name's Gene. I am with Costume Cult Core Leadership, and I'll be running today's meeting, kind of get everyone up to speed on some really important dates and some really important things about camp. And we also have on here Playa Panda, who is going to be working with leadership, who's part of leadership this year for Costume Cult.
Hello.
Costume Jim is founder of Costume Cult, and he has been to Burning Man. What is it, 21 times, Jim?
I don't know anymore. I have the Bernheimers. I can't recall anymore.
Bernheimers. So
lots fun.
So we also have Annie, who will also be involved, as well as Denisa, who cannot make it tonight. So we're just going to be going through what Costume Cult is. We're going to be going over important dates, and just some general things. So camp acceptance letters. If you have not received one yet, we're going to be sending those out soon. We basically, I'll get to that in a second. Then we have a ticket update. The main sale is tomorrow. We're going to go over Build Week. We're going to go over pods. We're going to go over cost sharing. We're going to go over teams and important dates, which things that you'll need to know in order to be part of all this and be in the know. Camp acceptance letters, emails for returning campers to be sent out this week. If you've camped with Costume Cult before, you are going, and you haven't done anything completely insane, we're going, or even if you have, we'll be sending out that letter to you this week. Emails for campers with sponsors, we will send out next week. Campers without a sponsor, we need to kind of go over who you are, all these things, and that'll be within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Once you get your acceptance letter, part of that acceptance letter will be joining the KKBM24 Discord channel. We've used Slack in the past. This year we're trying something new. Excuse me. For a variety of technical reasons, as well as ease of use reasons. We'll also have an SMS group, email group, and of course, Facebook group for those of you who still use Facebook. A lot of what we do just in Facebook, a lot, for events and stuff like that. Instagram hasn't gotten their act together. We're not using Partyful. So, Facebook is still great for events. So you'll still want to, be on there and engaged as much as you can. I didn't get a ticket. So we have, there are different sales for the burn. If you don't get a ticket tomorrow, so the main sale's tomorrow. If you registered for the main sale, you should be in that line a couple of minutes before the main sale starts. and probably about 30 seconds, maybe a minute before the main sale starts, you want to click join. You want to refresh your screen or get in there as soon as you can right when that starts. Sometimes they open it about 30 seconds early. Sometimes they open it right on time, but it opens a little early. You know, those of you who try about 30 seconds to 45 seconds earlier may get a jump in the line and be able to get a ticket. Tickets generally sell out within a few minutes. Sometimes it can be up to 20 minutes, but generally speaking, it goes by who's in line. So you want to be in that line. If you're in line, if more people are in line, there are tickets, and it doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. You're not going to get a ticket. It's not just refresh the screen, you're put in the line. If you don't get a ticket, then what? Well, don't panic. It is normal. There are plenty of opportunities to get a ticket if you're not in the main sale. So generally speaking, we have different tickets. So the ticket release plan is basically the first round mission critical campers. These are DGS tickets. These are people who have camped with us before, doers, all that stuff. Round 2, significant contributors, and round 3, later contributors, 30% plus new supply. When you, yeah. So I just want to, so when you go buy tickets tomorrow, do not buy 1 ticket. Buy 2 tickets. If you are able to purchase tickets, if you actually make it into the sale and you are offered 2 tickets, do not buy 1. Please buy 2. We will buy your ticket. We will make sure that your ticket goes to a good home. We will ask you to hold on to that ticket until we get into like round 2, but you will be reimbursed. It is not a problem. Please buy 2 tickets. Do not buy a vehicle pass unless you need a vehicle pass for yourself for some reason. Camp does not need extra vehicle passes. Every year people buy extra vehicle passes and then, oh, I thought I'd buy an extra one for camp. We do not need vehicle passes. If you need one, like there's some reason you need to, you know, you're a vehicle coming into Burning Man and you're leaving and you just need it to get it in there or whatever. Do you think you need one? Buy one. But please do not buy one for the sole purpose of giving it to Costume Cult, because that's not a thing that we need you to do. We need you to buy a ticket for yourself, a ticket for your significant other. And if you're only buying one for yourself, buy that extra ticket and we will take that ticket off your hands. And that is how we make sure that everyone who is contributing gets tickets. After the main sale, we see who got tickets. We see how many tickets we have in our store, how many tickets we have, and then we redistribute those tickets to other campers who need tickets. Generally speaking, the ticket rate for getting a ticket is about 10%. 1 in 10. 1 in 10 of you will get a ticket in the main sale. If you don't worry. Being a big camp, tickets always come to us when people have extras because they know that we are a big camp and that we always have people needing tickets. You will get a ticket. This will be burn number 8 for me, and I will never have seen, I've never seen someone not get a ticket who needed a ticket. Last year, tickets were plentiful. That is a very, very rare thing. I don't think it's going to happen again this year. What do I know? But we can never assume that tickets will be easily purchased at any time. They're a precious resource. They're considered a precious resource, even if one particular year they're not. Round, what's up? Oh, please mute if you're not muted. Round 3, later contributors. We will have round 3 is usually, you know, after May, people aren't going. Get married, have kids, decide not to do burn. That's when we get the round 3 tickets. So round 1, mission critical, that's the DGS tickets. Round 2, these are the tickets that we get after the main sale. And we distribute those after the acceptance letters are all done. And then round 3, as we get tickets, we make sure that people who need tickets get tickets. Other Burning Man ticket channels. Ticket aid program. If you are saying, holy shit, this is expensive, I don't have enough money for this to pay the full to pay the full price, you can apply right now for the ticket aid program, low income tickets. There are 5,000 of those at $225 a piece. Applications for that close on June 5th. You can use your burner profile to apply for that. Secure ticket exchange program that opens April 10th. That's actually already opened. If you have a ticket and you need to transfer it, that is how you can get a ticket outside of Costume Call. Anyone who needs a ticket who didn't get a DGS ticket and doesn't get one tomorrow should apply for that. Someone wants to get rid of their ticket, they put it in step, and then you get to buy it. That opens in April 10th. Registration, that's already open, or that's already open. You should be able to go ahead and apply for that if you don't get a ticket tomorrow. OMG sale, 3,000 tickets at $575. Registration is July 24th to July 26th. If you do not have a ticket, if you registered for STEP, if you didn't get a DGS ticket, which is a ticket that tickets assigned to us, if you don't get something in the main sale, you don't get something between you applied for STEP, you don't get a ticket, you don't get a ticket. You can then do the OMG sale, which is the last huzzah in getting a ticket through the regular site. And then July 31st, after that, August 1st, tickets really start coming out of the woodwork. That's when people, for whatever reason, who can't go to the burn, start dumping tickets on us. So we are always in good shape, but you can go back, this meeting's being recorded, you can go back and really review this at your leisure. And make sure that you do the main sale tomorrow. If you don't get that, you do STEP. If you don't get that, you do OMG. If you don't get that, we will then help you in any way we can to make sure that a golden ticket is in your hand to go to the desert. Other channel, other than that, Hustle. Childhood best friend, sister, cousin, uncle's, boyfriend's, nephew, whatever, can't go anymore and they're selling their ticket, buy it. Let us know. If you already have a ticket, buy it and let us know. We will take that ticket. It will get used. You will not be held, you will not be stuck holding a ticket under any circumstances. If you are going to buy a ticket from other channels, do not buy off Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Reddit. Tickets are tightly controlled at Burning Man. There is no such thing as just some random person selling it. They got it from somewhere. And they should be, they should, if you don't know them, then tell them to put it in STEP. You don't want their ticket. Don't just get it randomly. We are your resource for determining what are valid tickets. And if it's someone you know and have hung out with and whatever, and they want to sell their ticket, buy it. Other than that, really probably shouldn't. It's very, very risky. So what should you be doing from now until the burn? Participate in camp activities and prep for Burning Man. It says Slack. It is not Slack. We nice. Discord channel for upcoming meetings and activities. Get the camping supplies you'll need for the burn. If you don't, all this crap that you're going to be having to buy, if you don't want to use it for Burning Man, if you're new to all this, there are plenty of other things that you might want to go to that are, up there in awesomeness with the burn. That's Love Burn, that are, regional festivals, other regional festivals in general, anything you're camping with. If you want to go do this and be prepared for burn, if you're prepared for the burn, you're prepared for everything else. So keep that in mind. Look at flights to book. If you're going to be, start thinking about flights now. Think about early arrival. to help with build. We always need people for build. And, you know, really start thinking about your timeline for that. How to plan as if you're going, even if you have a ticket. Participation, become mission critical to camp. We have lots of different things as far as skill sets go. Needed for skill sets needed. If you're a builder, if you're into electric, if you are into sound, if you are into costuming, you know, be a team lead. I'll get to that in a bit. Be a team lead. You know, see where you're needed on different teams. We are an Esplanade camp. For those of you who don't know, we're an Esplanade camp. We bring costumes to Burning Man. We have a giant Halloween store. We do a runway show, and we gift costumes. That is our primary thing. If you're here, you should probably already know that. If you have a sponsor, you should probably already know that. If you are on a team, don't like what you're doing, find another team. See what you want to do. We're gonna go over that in a second. And you know, part of being part of a Burning Man collective, an arts collective, a large camp, an Esplanade camp, is we want to know, and if you've not been with us before, if you don't have a sponsor, how do we, you know, show up now, show up to the meetings, be part of things, and that is how we know that you're a good fit for Costume Cult. You know, like, we don't want you to be, you know, people who are not showing up to things here definitely aren't going to show up to things in the playa. And we really want people to be part of this. We're not a plug and play camp. We are a costume camp. We're an awesome camp. And we want everyone to be part of that and participating both here and in Black Rock City. Build Week. This is a shot of Build Week from a few years ago. This is our camp. This is Costume Cult. Build Week is a lot like Mars. You show up on Monday. If you show up so Build Week is Monday through Friday, the week before the burn. If you show up during Build Week on Monday, it really looks like Mars. It looks like there's nothing. It's like The Martian. The trucks get there. We make piles of things. Like, that's the K train on the left, costume tent in the background there. The DJ booth is right there. Runway is not up yet. Monday, we make piles of things for projects to build. Tuesday, we start to assemble those piles, and Wednesday, we actually have significant work being done on those piles, and we try to get everything done. Based on this picture, I would say this is probably Wednesday. That double peak structure in the back is the costume tent. The K train is there, frontage is coming along, and the frontage is the front of camp. That's where the runway show is. That's where the costume tent is. And then in the back, that is where all the other infrastructure is. That is where the generator for electricity is. That's where the kitchen is, with all the freezers and the refrigerators. That is where your tents are. That is where the ecozoic toilets are. And these are all things that we have in camp and are provided to you as part of your dues. Early arrival is a privilege. It is not to get this party started a week before. It is to build camp and to build Costume Cult and to make Costume Cult awesome. And make it what it is, and make it a really great place that people want to come visit and grab a costume and be part of it. If you want to do early arrival, great. We generally want people who can builders get preference, people who can who are good with tools, people who are good with organization, people who are good with coordination. You get to go to the burn early. We give you an early arrival pass. Actually, they're called WAPs now, hysterically. Work access passes. And you can, that's the only way to get on playa before the event officially starts. And then as you're progressing through the week, you'll see everything getting built. And by the end of the week, you will have your shit together. You will have your tent up. You will have all your stuff ready to go. You will be adjusted to the altitude if you're not used to altitude. Black Rock City is thousands of feet above altitude. And you'll really just kind of be, and the time zone difference, you'll be ready to go. And you'll know at least several dozen people in camp. If you haven't already, if you haven't met them already here, which you probably will, you'll know them ahead of time, and you can, it's a really great experience. We have people who don't even camp with Costume Cult anymore, who still go to Build Week just for Build Week, and then they poof off, and we're like, hey, you're here for Build Week, but you're not, they're like, yeah, building's half the fun, and it really is. It really is an experience that everyone should do at some point. If you didn't do it last year, do it this year. If you haven't been with us before, or to the burn at all, go. It's really it's really fulfilling to see nothing come from something, and then it's there for a week, and then it's gone, like it was never there. And here's a couple of other pictures. As I said, you can see the city rise. Meet if you're a maker and you make things and create things, you'll meet everybody who loves doing that. Build Week people are, folks who just want to get it done and want that extra time in playa and get to see how all this is done. And yeah, I mean, it is work. It's not gonna lie. It's not like we're not sitting around, we're not partying, we're not doing whatever. It's building camp and making it awesome, and getting that burn experience and making it happen. Acclimated, yes. Yep. Here we go. This is a quick sped up thing. This is a pod. This is what everyone sleeps in. This is actually your tents go under here. It's shade structure. And this is a pod going up. And that happens about I think we have about 12 to 15 of those. Back here we have a hexayurt, which is a type of structure. You can Google that. And if you want to find out about hexayurts, it's a different type of tent structure, shelter. How does camp work? It's your camp. You define the experience. Transparency is key. We are an Esplanade camp, as mentioned. We are a 10 principles camp. Being an Esplanade means that we are the most interactive and fun camps at Burning Man, or at least amongst them. We do costuming. We have a runway show. We give out costumes, as mentioned, and we are just really a destination. We transform people into the best version of themselves, even if that's only while they're walking our runway and wearing the costume. It takes people out. Some people love costuming, great. Other people who don't, maybe they haven't thought about wearing a costume. They come and they put on a costume, and it's a whole new world for them. It's their first burn. They don't know. Everyone has an equal opportunity to do whatever they want to do. It is a duocracy. The best idea wins. We want people to give their ideas for, we've dialed this in pretty well over the past 20 years, but we want your suggestions. If you're a maker and you want to, and something's happening and you think you have a better idea, well, we will definitely listen to it. We might not do it because we don't agree with you, but we'll definitely hear you out. And if it's logical and it's something that's going to help us save time or be done in a better way, absolutely. Camp is built by everybody. Burning Man's built by everybody. There are no paid artists. You cannot buy anything except for ice. It used to be ice and coffee. Now it's just ice. No artist gets paid. No performers get paid. Participation is how Burning Man happens. And by camping with us, you are participating. What do I bring to Burning Man? How do I participate? How do I become part of it? You are participating by being part of Costume Cult, because we are an Esplanade camp. And your participation gets put in through the awesomeness that we bring as a camp. When it comes to camper selection, if you're not a returning camper, and how do you get an acceptance letter? Show up to the meetings. If we have, be a team lead, be on a team. participate in that team, join Discord, make yourself known. Don't just sit there in the corner. We don't exclude anybody. If you want to be part of it, speak up, be awesome. You will be able to camp with us. It's a pretty low bar, but there is a bar. We want people to be part of it. If you're an Instagrammer type or whatever, and you just want to poof into Burning Man, it's on your bucket list, and don't want to do anything, don't want to participate, just want to, go listen to music and that's it, this is not the camp for you. This is a really fun, dynamic camp with a lot of really awesome people that are really dynamic and really talented, and some of the smartest people I've ever met are at the Burn and in Costume Cult in general. What makes a good camper? Empower, encourage, recognize. We do not raise voices around here. Nobody is better than anybody else. We have leads, because the leads are the people that know how to do this and will help you to do it. But whatever your skill set is, it may apply to the Burn, but it might not be the best way of doing it at the Burn. Being involved, the prep. So the prep is basically from now until build week. What is frontage going to look like? What is the costume tent, getting that sorted. Who's going to be running kitchen? If you are a chef or you're into preparing food, feeding people is your thing. It is people's passions. A lot of people, we have a kitchen is something that you can do and be absolutely part of it. It's not one thing. Camper cost sharing. Last year it was $650. We are going, it may be $650 again. It depends on how many campers we have. What does that get you? As an Esplanade mega camp, basically, we have water. You do not have to bring water. We provide water. We have water delivered. We have a water buffalo, which is basically a giant storage tank. It's like 250 gallons. Food, we do breakfast, lunch, dinner during build week. A good army runs on its stomach. And every day we do dinner at the Burn. We do not do breakfast at the Burn. We do not do lunch at the Burn. We do a really nice dinner. You will not go hungry. We do actually do breakfast sometimes at the Burn, meaning during the Burn. Someone wants to make breakfast, wants to step up for the day, they can do breakfast. We will provide you with everything to do it, but it is not guaranteed. Electricity, we have a 200 kVA generator. You will have a extension cord going to your tent. You can run your cell phone, fan, a swamp cooler. You cannot run an air conditioner. You can run a swamp cooler, which we will get into in a later meeting. A swamp cooler is something that you've probably never heard about unless you've been to the Burn or you live out west, because swamp coolers do not work here. They're also known as evaporative coolers. An evaporative cooler costs about $150, and it will put out 30-degree air below ambient. What that means, if it's 100 degrees outside, you will get 70-degree air in your tent. If it's 110 degrees, you'll get 80 degrees. If it's 120 degrees, God help us, you will get 90 degrees, and you'll actually be happy about that 90 degrees. Average Burn temperatures are between 80 and 90. So you will get 85 to 95, say. So you should get something comparable to an air conditioner with a swamp cooler. And it only runs, and it only takes 90 watts, and you can have that running. There will be an additional, if you do a swamp cooler, which I recommend everyone do who wants to be cool in their tent and and wants that amenity, you just need to feed it water. And water, it takes about a gallon and a half, 2 gallons a day, depending on the size of your tent. If you have a shift pond, it's gonna be 2 gallons. If it's a smaller tent, maybe a gallon. The water charge for that will be about $40. So for $200, which is the cost of the swamp cooler, which you will use for many, many burns, and $40, you'll have basically air conditioning in your tent. And that is perfectly fine. Center and pod shade structures. Shade structures, you can't just have a tent in the middle of the burn with the murder sun beating down on you. You need to have a shade structure. We provide shade structures. We provide, they're called EMT shade structures, and they are kind of like the standard at the burn. They will keep the sun off your tent. They will keep you relatively cool in your tent compared to if you did not. They'll make your fan work better, and it's a comfort thing, and they also protect against dust storms and wind to a certain degree. I mean, nothing's perfect out there. Dust will get into everything, but it's not like your tent is just exposed or you're just exposed when you're outside your tent. Frontage, that's the front of the camp. Sometimes sometimes it's the K train, it's the runway, it is the infrastructure to make Costume Cult awesome. That is part of camp, and your dues are part of that. We do have bathrooms. We have ecozoic toilet bathrooms in camp. These toilets do not need to be serviced. When it rained last year, nobody had to walk a quarter mile to the bathroom. Not only that, when the power went out, because we had some breakers trip because of the rain, and the ecozoic toilets turned off, they still worked. But generally speaking, they don't need to be serviced after the rain. They didn't need to be serviced. They are negative air pressure, so they don't smell. And at the end of the burn, when they were taking them away, I said, hey, how much time do you think we had on those? How much time do you think we have left in those? And they told us about 2 weeks before they'd have to be actually serviced, which is crazy to me. That means that, so when nobody else had the toilets serviced, when no one else had them in camp, we were sitting pretty. And that's a pretty big deal. Not to talk too much about it, but that's something that is not a lot of camps get to have. They usually, if we had regular porta potties last year, they would have been filled up in no time. They would not have been serviced, and it would have been literally a shit show. Other personal expenses. Container is usually going to be about $11 a cubic foot, between 11 and 12, depending on how many campers we have. Travel expenses, that's to and from the burn. The Burner Express, we have our own Burner Express buses. They sit at the end, they sit during breakdown, and they take everybody back to Reno, and they do not wait in Exodus line, which can take up to 12 hours. We get back to Reno about 3.5 hours after the bus picks us up. And that is so huge. If you stay for breakdown, you get to do that. You don't have to deal with Exodus. This will be my 8th burn. I've never done Exodus. It's a party. Everyone stops every mile, but you're still waiting in a giant line, and not in Reno with your, room service and whatever. So, airlift insurance. If you get your arm chopped off on playa, or crack your head open or whatever, they will come airlift you out and take you to Reno and sew your arm back on, or get you out of your coma. And then about a month later, you will get a bill for $34,000 from that airlift helicopter company, unless you spend $60 for airlift insurance. Medevac insurance, will you need it? I hope not. But if you do need it, you will save $35,000.
Can I just jump in real quick?
Sure.
You never think that you're going to need it, and when he says you're going to lose, if you lose an arm or something, you got to helivac out of there. It sounds a little crazy, but last year we were with somebody who jumped off of one of the art projects and broke both of his legs. and stuff does happen. So if you have the insurance and you can get airlifted out of there, he actually had that option, which was also a positive because the rain was coming, so he could actually leave.
Did he
So-
have, did he have the insurance?
Yeah,
Okay. He broke both his legs and he still stayed.
yeah, he didn't want to leave. He just wanted to hang out in the RV at that point.
Right. Which meant he probably had to have surgery to get that done. But that tells you how awesome it is there. He broke both his legs and still wanted to stay. I mean, that's crazy to me, but hey, whatever. Get the airlift insurance. We'll be going over all of this, but these are things to think about. I just want to put it in everyone's heads. I hope you're taking notes, or if you're looking at this recorded, make little open notepad or whatever you're using and put a little Evernote and make these little notes about these things so that you remember them. We'll drill it into your head over and over again, but yeah, do it anyway. Before we open up for questions, I'm just going to turn this over to Costume Jim, who wants to talk about a couple of events coming up. Jim, if you want to go ahead and talk about that.
All righty. Yeah. Variety of things to talk about. We'll get into Hornball in a second, but for those of you who are thinking about getting involved in art projects, our frontage this year, we got a lot of good things up there, but we're thinking about more facade elements, sort of New York City facade elements, but with a lot of LED lights. So if you're interested in building, creating, making things light at night, let's start raising our hand so we can start figuring out what we want to do and what we will do. So that's coming. And then, but before then, we have to raise some money for the camp. Surprisingly, dues for Esplanade or for most other camps are much higher than ours. We're really good at this, and we also augment it with 3 or 4 fundraisers a year, including the Hornball, which is coming up, which was always an early April event, but then our venue got shut down by the FDNY. The joke was that dragons burned it down, but it was close. And actually, for a lot of goodness, it got pushed to April 27th, which is a much nicer, warmer time. We have a beautiful venue right by Prospect Park that will fit 700 people, 2 DJ areas. It's a wellness facility called Gaia No Maya, and that's April 27th. And because of the split between April 6th and April 27th, we got excited, and then there's a little lull, and now we got to get back on it. We need to promo, tell everybody about it. It's really going to be a special night. It's Year of the Dragon, so it's a dragon theme. So hatchlings, get out your dragon, baby dragon, anything cute and cuddly, and horns, of course, because it's Hornball. So that's coming up, and we are looking for contributors. Denisa, who's on here, is leading, and several other people are all getting involved in decor projects for that. So, let us know if you want to volunteer or make decor for Hornball Saturday, April 27th.
Thank you, Jim. All right. We do actually, but the question slide came up a little too quickly. We're going to go ahead and go over a few other things. Teams. What are teams? What do we have for Costume Cult as far as teams? We're going to be going over these in the next meeting in person. This will be a little more fleshed out. But we do DPW. DPW is infrastructure. Maybe you hate costumes. Maybe you don't want to cook maybe you're not a cook, someone who can cook. Maybe you don't want to deal with frontage. Maybe you want to deal with making sure that stuff gets built and organized and, deal with the trucks and deal with the infrastructure and all that. That is DPW. DPW is what gets built. What makes things get built. And a core reason why things get built. At Burning Man, their DPW builds the city. Everything that's not a camp gets built by them. That's the streets, the roads, trash fence, all that. Oop, ignore that. It'll be a Discord channel. We just recently switched to Discord, so this was not updated, unfortunately. But these are the things, these are things on how you get involved. Electrical, water structures, generator, power distribution, shower, center shade, kitchen, not cooking, drinking water, all these things that you can get involved with. That is one of our LED artists who built the Empire State Building. As you can see, there are a lot of LED strips there. It was fully programmable, and she learned how to do it by talking to people who, like-minded people who were involved and wanted to do it. But you don't have to be an expert in LEDs to do this. If you know electrical, if you know anything on the screen, you can get involved in DPW and probably be happy doing it if that's what you want to do. Costume team. Our thing is costumes. We bring a Halloween store. That's actually our storage in New Jersey. That is us sorting out the costumes and getting rid of the MOOP. MOOP is matter out of place. That's us getting rid of all the packaging, getting them from cardboard boxes into yellow top bins, and getting them ready for transport to the playa. We have an entire storage locker filled with costumes. We always get more. They get donated. We are a 501c3. Companies can donate them if they suck at selling costumes and going out of business, and they can take a tax write-off. Those dates, we have not done the dates yet. Pods. And those are the two main areas, but there's also electrical, there's also sound, general organization. We'll go into the different departments a little deeper at the next meeting. Pods are where your tents go. I showed you the sped up video of the pods being built. It is an allotted area under KK shade structure where you can pitch your tents. Let me just get that. They are not air pods, they are not pea pods, they are not Tide pods. A pod is basically going to be a section of shade structure where your tent goes along with other campers that you have met and want to hang out with. They all have different themes usually. We had an LED pod one year. We had we had one that was like they decorated their pod like a 70s kind of living room situation. So if you walk into a pod, so we have we usually have between 150 and 175 campers. If whatever pod you're in, you can make it your own. If you're a pod lead, great, make it your own and decorate it how you see fit. These are the people that you're usually going to be going out and partying. Not that we don't have multiple pods going out at night, but when you come back at night and all the tents are in your pod and you see everyone kind of hanging out, these are the people that you're going to be chilling with, sitting around figuring out what adventure to go on next, or what you're doing tomorrow, or if you need, or hey, who has an aspirin because I forgot to bring some, or I need help with my tent because there's something that I don't know how to do. And these are basically, you have the camp pod leads. They're not the camp pod leads. The camp pod lead is usually a lead, is known as the pod father or the pod daddy. And they help people get into pods. I don't know if Brandon confirmed for this here, but the pod lead will figure out who's going to be a pod lead and help steer people who are interested in different things and see where they might be a good fit in that pod. Individual pod leads, they're the point of contact for that pod. They collect information from the pod members, who they are, when they're arriving in playa, their tent sizes, build community within the pod. You're there to hang out and meet people and have an awesome time. If they're in costume cult, they're here for a reason, and they are probably going to be someone you want to hang out with. No one's here for Bible camp. We are all here to have a great time at Burning Man. What's the layout of the pod? If you want to have, all the big tents in one side and, kind of have a cluster of tents elsewhere and have like a communal lounge area where you can all hang out with whatever it is. We've had kiddie pools. We've had pods have bars. We've had pods with, all kinds of decor. Making sure the pod leads also make sure that the pods are kept clean, moop free, and the shared resources. And shared resources can be, hey, who's going to bring a giant fan? Who's going to bring snacks for the pod? Let's all get everyone chip in $20. If you have 10 people, that's $200. That's a lot of snacks. So joining a pod member responsibilities. This is people who are actually joining the pod. Join a pod, work collaboratively with pod mates and pod leader to design a pod, theme, lighting, decor, furniture, cost sharing. You're in costume cult, but the pod is your home where you go to at night. Get to know each other, leave no trace. That is what, if you're not a pod lead, that is what you are going to want to be doing as a pod member. All right. If you have some vision about, you're camping with us, you have some vision about what you want your pod to be. Hey, I'm really into dragons. You're the dragon. I really want to have a dragon pod, dragons all over the place, and whatever. You can do that. You can help make your vision come to life. And when we do the acceptance letters and you join the Discord channel, first thing we're going to be encouraging people to do, find out what pod you want to go with, or join or create your own pod. Pods fill up quickly. Usually there's always a couple of pretty cool sounding ones and people join those right away. But if you have an idea for something you want to do, let the pod coordinator know, which is the pod daddy or the pod father, whatever we're calling them this year. And by the next meeting, we should have an idea of who that's going to be. I didn't want to put the person who did it last year because they've not committed yet. But we'll know that by the next meeting. Kitchen, I touched on that a little earlier. We'll go into a little more now. Costume kitchen, how can you help? Kitchening is your thing. Want to be part of that? Kitchen storage inventory. Going through what we have in Jersey. We do have kitchen stuff in Jersey. Most of it is in Gerlach out west. And we kind of, what do we have? What do we need? We're going to have, whoever's running kitchen this year, they're going to come up with menus and shifts and all that. We're going to be having, when we get into more like leads and departmental leads, like kitchen, costuming, DPW, all that, this will come up more and more. But, whatever, I'm just giving an overview. So we have a full kitchen. We are inspected by the health department, the Nevada State Health Department. We do clean everything is really kept in tip-top shape. We have a really good dinner. We try to make sure everyone, if you're vegan, if you're, if you're gluten allergy, if you have a gluten allergy, if you're, vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever it is, the meals all reflect the variety of situations people have or dietary requirements people have. Usually, usually they're, high in protein is usually, protein, salad, sides, dressings, all the accoutrements. And, we really try to make dinner, a good time where you can hang out and talk about what you're going to go adventure towards during the night, or talk about your day and just kind of hang out and chill. Frontage. How to get, so frontage, that's our frontage from one Burning Man, from 1 year at Burning Man. Aiden is not going to be doing it this year, but all these things that say Slack, these are usually Slack. It's going to be Discord this year. That's our frontage. That is the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building. We had the runway had the arches from the Brooklyn Bridge, and we had like the Saks with 2Ks, window dressing displays. And that's us at night. It's kind of something to see. We didn't have the Chrysler Building lit up at that point, but yeah, if that's something you want to do, you can get involved in that team. So just to recap, frontage, DPW, kitchen, costuming. Those are kind of like the 4 departments, and we'll get into those as we get during the next meeting. This is really an overview meeting. This is really, hey, this is what we are. If you missed the first meeting, how we do it, what to expect. We are a big camp, but we are an organized camp in terms of infrastructure, and having done this 20 times before, we have it pretty much dialed in. We love you. This can't be done without you guys. This can't be done without our campers. Everyone is part of this, and you get what you put into it. If you want to really be a part of an amazing Burning Man camp and be awesome, then there is a place for you here. If you just want to like parachute in and listen to some music and leave, this is not a festival. Maybe it's not, but we look forward to getting to know all of you and seeing you guys participate and being a part of Costume Cult at Burning Man 2024. If you've not filled out the interested camper form, do that now. You do not exist until you filled out this form. If you've not filled out this form, I have no idea who you are. Our leads have no idea who you are. We have no way of knowing your skill sets. We have no way of knowing what you're interested in doing. We don't know anything. So, it'll be like 2 weeks later and someone say, oh, I want to get involved in whatever. And I'll look and they're not on this form. Or Denisa, who's Denisa and the leads team who are leading this year will not know what you're doing. I'm part of Costume Cult Core leadership. So I'm generally in the background with spreadsheets and all that. Denisa and Tim and Annie are going to be part of your leadership team this year. So you'll be seeing me at the meetings. Denisa had a personal emergency, couldn't make it tonight, but you'll generally be seeing them at these meetings in addition to me. But fill out the form, get it done, do it now. It's not a binding agreement. It's just letting us know who you are and what you're interested in. If you're a couple, hey, we're going to go to the burn together. Both of you need to fill it out. That's for liability purposes. That is for our sanity purposes. But both of you need to do it. Don't just put, yeah, it's me plus blah, blah. Both of you have to fill it out in its entirety, please. Last but not least, camp meetings every 3 to 4 weeks. 50-50 split, half real life, half remote. This is a remote one, obviously. It is Tuesday. It will be on Zoom. The next meeting will be in real life. There will also be a Zoom, but we strongly encourage you to show up. It will be in Manhattan. It will probably be at Solas in the East Village, and that will be on May 8th. We ask if you can make it, come by, get to meet everybody, see what we're about, get to meet me, get to meet Tim the Playa Panda, which everyone looks forward to. At least until they meet him. And basically, no, they're all great. But come hang out, have a drink, see what we're about, get the vibe check, very important. And we'll see you then. Until then, add this calendar to stay up to date. We have a shared calendar with all the important dates. Add it to your Google or Outlook or whatever it is, or your Apple calendar, whatever it is you use to keep your shit together as far as your schedule and dates. Add that. Costume Cult KKBM24. I think that is actually in capitals, which is, might be lowercase, but one of those will work. Meeting recordings, communication channel instructions, you'll see Discord on there. Calendar, important assets. And that is kind of where everything will be going forward. You can join Discord. I think you can join Discord even if you don't have a camp acceptance letter. And that's fine. But once we get the camper list confirmed, if you're not part of that group, you will be kicked out of Discord. No offense. But that is basically everything that we have is going to be put on the Costume Cult website at this link. So please go to that link, please bookmark that link, and please refer back to that link if there's anything that you don't need and no one's answering you in Discord. Chances are it's probably there. I'll keep that on for an extra second. Screenshot it, take a picture. Put your favorites starred. Okay. All right. We're going to open it up for questions now. Please put your questions in chat. And when you do that, I will unmute you. Or I will ask you to unmute. And I will answer your burning questions to the best of my ability.
It's Jenna. What's the so far, like what's the split of like returning members, newbies?
I don't have that information. That is a Denise question. She is out on personal emergency. I would have to probably a question for the next meeting. But I don't have that. Usually, I mean, it's usually it's never been, it's almost always 50-50, or it's 50-50 or 60-40. It's never more than 60. It's never less than 50.
And are we shooting for like 150, 170 again?
We are shooting for about between 150 and 170. I think 150 is kind of the minimum. 170 would be like, yeah, we have people who really should be here, either by virtue of diverse skill set or general awesomeness. We're not going above we're not going to go above 170. That's kind of like the max. 170, it becomes, as you know, it becomes a lot more scattershot. It becomes less manageable above 170. So one year we had 250, never again. We also had 200 one year, and that was too much. So the sweet spot's usually 160 with a hard cap of 170. Camille asked if we're still using Slack. No, we are not. We're using Discord. Can we talk about sponsors? Many years ago is fine. I mean, I've been here for 8 years. Jim's been here for 20. If you want to go talk, Tim's done 11. If you want to talk to your friends who camped here, hey, can I use you as a sponsor? Throw them out there. Chances are someone knows them. And if that's the case, then sure, they're perfectly valid. Sponsors don't expire unless they were kicked out of Costume Cult or something like that. If you don't have a sponsor, yes, you can just tell us who they are. And if they know you and they don't say, hey, who's that freak? I have no idea they owe me money. Then yeah, they're perfectly valid as a sponsor. If you don't, for those of you who don't have sponsors, that's when showing up is really important. That's when coming to our parties is really important, or coming to crafting sessions for our party or volunteering for our parties, just making yourself known. We will be reaching out to people who don't have sponsors and saying, hey, we see you don't have a sponsor. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why do you want to go to Burning Man? The reason for sponsors is that, generally speaking, if you're friends with someone who's been with Costume Cult, then you know what all this is about, or at least they believe you know what all this is about, to the point that they're willing to put you up as a sponsor. It's very, very rare that someone has a sponsor and isn't someone who is a good fit for Costume Cult. That's just kind of the way the burner social web works, and that's perfectly fine. Nick and Nora, yeah. So if you want to cold call your friends who you haven't seen in years, or seen them recently and say, hey, we want to do KK. Can we be your sponsors to serve up your names? Let me know. If I don't know them, somebody will know them, and then you don't have to deal with this. You'll know. We'll still call you and talk to you, but it's not like we're not going to grill you as if you're coming in completely cold. And even if you are coming in cold, we won't grill you. We'll just ask you questions about you, pretty much, just so we can kind of get to know you a little better. Anyone else? Any other questions? Nobody. We have all like veterans here or something. Maybe. The time before the 45 seconds. Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, I see some familiar faces in here. Oh, there's Brittany. All right.
Hi, Jean.
Hey, Brittany. Nice profile picture.
Thanks.
Looks like it needs like lasers in the back, like in
Someone's been to Sears.
Can you Photoshop that for me, guys?
Yeah,
I can.
I'll have you holding a cat with lasers in the background, like that blue background. Like it's middle
That
school
sounds
picture day.
amazing.
There you go. Okay, so ticket sale. Ticket sale. You will see that the main sale is not started yet. Wait your turn, you impatient bastard. And about 45 seconds before the main sale starts, you're gonna want to kind of spam the button. And you want to get in that line as soon as possible. You won't get a ticket, you'll be put in line. And it'll say you are now in the queue. It may show you the place you are in the queue, it may not. It may say you are 10,753 and third in the queue. And that's fine. It's gonna go quickly. Most people wait in queue for up to half an hour. You should wait in the queue until it literally kicks you out and says the main sale has ended. Starting a little before, you want to try and get into that line. When you get into that line determines your place in the queue. So if you can gain a couple of seconds, that's the difference between being 10,000th and 20,000th or something like that. So, just if you have multiple humans in your house, you should both be logging into your burner profile with 2 separate machines if you have them, and you should both be doing that. One of you may or may not get a ticket, but either way, if both of you get in, great, buy 4 tickets. We will take the 2 tickets off your hand. Go ahead.
Were you saying that you're reloading the page, or there's a button that you click that you can't click
Right.
early? I don't quite understand.
It changes slightly every year. Click
Okay.
here to enter the main sale. When you click that button, it will say the main sale has not started yet. Then you can refresh the page and try again. The idea is that you're not doing it past 1 p.m. You're doing it a little bit before, so that if they start it a few seconds early, you get the jump on people who are doing it exactly at 1 o'clock or a few seconds after 1 o'clock. Seconds count. They really, really do. One time, they actually opened the sale up 5 minutes early. And about 10,000, I think it was like 6,000 people who decided to try early got tickets immediately. Because when it actually started 6 minutes later, they were in line first. I'm sorry, noon PDT. So I'm sorry. If you're in, so it's noon Pacific Daylight Time, so it's 3 o'clock Eastern Time, and we have people from all over the country. So if you're in California, it's noon, and then it just obviously goes there. But it's noon PDT, which is 3 o'clock. So at 2:59 and 30 seconds, try to enter the sale. Doesn't work. Wait a few seconds. Try again, and then do it as close. And then do it as close to 3 o'clock as you possibly can. Yeah, definitely be on a laptop. Don't be on your phone. Again, if you have 2 people, have two laptops, have a full-blown, full-blown computer and a laptop if people still have full-blown computers. Whatever it takes, but don't just casually go in at 3 o'clock and expect to get a ticket, because you probably won't. All right. Any other questions? Nope, no other questions. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, then we're going to end our meeting for the evening. We're going to stop recording. And thank you all very much for joining. Again, our next meeting will be, what did I say? On May 8th. It'll be in person. It'll be in the East Village. We hope to all see you there. You can join via Zoom, but come in person. It's totally worth it. Get to meet everybody and definitely get a sense of a little more of what this is about. It's easier to explain things one-on-one than to dozens of people on Zoom. So if that's it, everyone have a great night, and we will see you next month. Also, Hornball is next Saturday, not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday. So you should all join. Definitely try and make that. It's a really great way to meet people and see what we're all about. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.